What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of Show Me Football and Arrowhead Addict, covering your Kansas City Chiefs. And I apologize for the slight downgrade in quality today. I'm actually having to make this video on the move as it has been a very busy day, but I wanted to fit this in somewhere. So I'm actually recording this from my phone at the moment, but we got an injury update on two very important players for the Kansas City Chiefs. So the first update is going to be on Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker, who, according to Matt Derrick of Chiefs Digest, is designated to return from IR, and it sounds like he could be kicking as early as this weekend in the Kansas City Chiefs game against the Cleveland Browns. And after watching last week's game against the Los Angeles Chargers, we all know how huge it is to get him back. Having to sweat it out with our second and third string kickers over recent weeks has not been the best feeling. And the Chiefs also, I think, the approach offensively changes a little bit. You can play a little bit more relaxed, knowing that you have Harrison Butker back there for an almost automatic 3 points anytime you're on the opposing team side of the field, as opposed to a Matthew Wright, who you don't know what you're going to get. Now, I do imagine that Harrison Butker is going to practice this week, and they'll see where he's at. But I think it's probably a little bit more likely that they hold him out until next week's game against the Houston Texans, and then we'll see him. You obviously want to get him back before the end of the regular season, so you can get those reps in and get back into a groove before the playoffs. But at the same time, you want to make sure that he's 100% healthy coming off that knee surgery. Knees can sometimes be a little bit tricky. There can always be a setback, so you just want to be 100% sure. But for the most part, it's a positive thing that it sounds like the Kansas City Chiefs are going to get Harrison Butker back here very, very soon. Whether it's considered ideal or not, Harrison Butker is a massive part of the Chiefs offense that really has not been that explosive this year, has not scored a lot of points. So anytime you can get back a player that is going to deliver more points for you, it's a big deal when you're in this position offensively that the Kansas City Chiefs are. You have Harrison Butker now, which means you can comfortably kick it from anywhere within 60 yards. And I think we kind of took that for granted before he went out with that injury. Not that the replacement kickers haven't filled in just fine for him. I mean, Schrader and Wright have done an admirable job, but you'd much rather have Harrison Butker back there, especially in a big moment. So good to have him back. And then secondly, we also got an update on Kansas City Chiefs left tackle D.J. Humphries, who we've all been patiently waiting for an injury update on. And it has been reported that D.J. Humphries has a strained hamstring. Luckily, not a torn hamstring, but a strained one, and one that sounds like it might keep him out for a week or two. Good friend of the show, at Chiefs Blitz on Twitter, posted yesterday that D.J. Humphries will likely sit out against the Cleveland Browns, with the idea of returning to the lineup against the Houston Texans. Harold R. Kuntz on X also attended Chiefs practice yesterday and was able to snap a photo of D.J. Humphries on the field with his teammates, not practicing, but at least in good spirits and there with the team, which I think can be taken as a positive sign that it's nothing major and nothing that is immediately getting worked on because of its severity. And I think if you watch the game in which D.J. Humphries got hurt and witnessed the injury, this is probably the best case scenario. I think when it happened, we all thought, well, shoot, there goes our left tackle, maybe even for the rest of the regular season, because a hamstring can be very tricky. We've seen guys even get put on IR because of a hamstring. And with a big guy like D.J. Humphries, who puts a lot of weight on that leg every single game, a hamstring is something that could definitely hinder his performance and keep him out long term. But it sounds like worst case it's going to be a week or two. That's the best case scenario, I think, because I talked about this with Michael Darcy of KC Sports Report, but with a guy like D.J. Humphries, who just joined the team a few weeks ago, you want him to get those reps in during the regular season before the playoffs so he can get worked into the offense and that what you have at left tackle. Otherwise, Wanya Morris might just be the best option to play at left tackle. I think most people agree that if healthy, DJ Humphries is the Chiefs' best option at left tackle. Now, his performance against the Los Angeles Chargers wasn't great, but it was his first game back since tearing his ACL and not playing football for a year. There's going to be some rust to knock off, but that's why it's important that he gets these regular season games in. So it's still not a good thing that he be missing the Cleveland Browns game, but at least you could get him back for the Houston Texans game, and then, hopefully healthy enough to play in that Steelers game on Christmas. He's going to need those games to get used to blocking for Patrick Mahomes, dropping back, getting used to Patrick Mahomes' deep drop back. I talked about that with Michael Darcy as well. That's a huge adjustment for offensive linemen that come over to the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes has a different drop back than every other quarterback in the NFL, and it's something that DJ Humphries is going to have to get used to and can't necessarily be simulated in practice. You simply cannot afford DJ Humphries to miss the rest of the regular season and then just throw him out there in a playoff game and expect him to be ready to go. And I think this also was a lesson for the Kansas City Chiefs that you can't take a guy that as soon as he was cleared to play football, you sign him and think he's going to be your starting left tackle. It's a lesson that you can't rush these guys back. I get you're desperate at left tackle. I get you're desperate to fill these holes on the roster, and injuries have been tough this year, but you may have risked losing DJ Humphries, long term just to get him in there for one game because you were so scared of what else you had at left tackle. You didn't want to see it anymore. First of all, it's not a good sign for the development of Wanya Morris and Kingsley Suamataia, but it's just a bad look that the Kansas City Chiefs are, sleeping in the bed that they made, throwing a guy out there that tore his ACL, just over a year ago and thinking that he was going to solve all their problems, and then he goes out there and gets hurt again. It's more likely that you're going to have an injury because you're compensating from the knee that you tore a year ago. That's what happened. And I think the Chiefs just need to be a lot more careful going forward with DJ Humphries. But at the same time, there's just not that much time left in the season. There's not that much football left to be played before it's the postseason, and then you need to know what the plan is. And right now, it just doesn't really seem like the Kansas City Chiefs know what the plan is at left tackle. They thought it was going to be DJ Humphries, but clearly it's not as simple as that. So I don't know what the Kansas City Chiefs do there. It's tricky, but DJ Humphries needs to get these game reps in, or else I might be a little more comfortable rolling with Wanya Morris there at left tackle. And also, Wanya Morris, after he came back in for DJ Humphries in that Chargers game, actually looked okay. And we know that Wanya Morris was dealing with a knee injury, so I think he should get some benefit of the doubt. He was playing with an injury himself, which is why his performance took a huge dip there against the Panthers and the Raiders. But that's what's going on. Those are the two latest updates for the Kansas City Chiefs injury-wise. Harrison Butker about to return, and DJ Humphries looks like we got the best case scenario with him. So with all that being said, make sure you guys leave down in the comments what your thoughts are on these two injury updates. Are you excited to get Harrison Butker back? Are you worried about DJ Humphries? Let me know. But make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And make sure you check out my work on Show Me Football and Arrowhead Addict for more. And I will see you all in the next one. Go Chiefs!